Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and...
Birches.
No, it was Britches. They said
Britches?
Oh my
Britches.
God, you fucked it up. And that was such a good one. That was Garrett's recommendation.
No, actually, it was one of our followers first. One of our...
Britches?
Yeah,
Did you get the
Britches.
name?
Britches?
Hold on. I was going to tell Garrett that he wasn't the first, but I didn't want to be mean.
Oh. Well, I'm Kristen, and with me I have...
Erica Bakos.
Okay, why are you so obsessed with your last name now? Maria. Maria.
I have a new last. It's a weird thing.
So this episode, while Maria gets...
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Haya here is actually what her YouTube name is.
I know.
She
it's
follows
YouTube.
her on Instagram as well. I've seen her on our Instagram.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
But she gave us a couple, so we're gonna use right now.
Don't spoil 'em.
We've got Britches, a
Okay.
pants podcast. She put in parentheses.
Oh wait,
What?
this would be topical. The first one.
Then I guess you fucked up twice
Is
today.
it Witches?
Yeah.
Ah. All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and...
Witches.
All right. That was
That's
a good
totally
one.
not just like inserted after again.
No, I'm not.
It's okay.
I'm
You're
keeping
gonna
it all
keep it,
in.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So I'm sorry, username was Haya.
Haya here.
I love that.
Yeah, isn't it cute?
It's on YouTube.
And her
She
picture is
throws
so
axes.
adorable. She what?
She throws axes.
She throws axes?
Yeah, she like. I've seen her. If it's the same person I'm thinking of, she throws
She
axes.
follows us on Instagram. I've talked to her before.
Yeah.
I love
She's
how
a-
we
what a
know
badass.
so much about the people that follow us. we just
Listen,
creep
that
on
we
them.
talk to everyone. Every message we get, we respond. Is it
It's true.
overwhelming and anxiety? Yeah, I have a lot of anxiety sometimes, but I love you guys.
We also
so.
just started a Discord.
I'm happy about the Discord.
If you know what that is.
Pure
I'm
chaos.
gonna put right now. We're recording.
Pure
Hi.
chaos.
So we have a Discord. It's basically like if you're a working person and you use Slack, it's very similar. It's like a giant group chat, and you can join in by downloading Discord. There's an app on your phone, which is awesome, and you can just join our server. Do you have to be requested to join?
We have a link that we're gonna put in our link tree.
Okay.
I already did.
Oh, Erica's on top of everything. So there's a link in if you go into our bio of our Instagram, head over there and just click that link, and it just takes you over, and you just accept yourself.
Cool.
It's like we create an invite link to
Okay.
send out. It's as
Awesome.
if you're being invited, but you don't
Cool.
have to be invited to get in. You just have to
cool.
have a server. You know, be nice.
Yeah, we love to hear from you. And every
We'll block
week...
you if you're not.
Yeah, you tell them.
Also, be careful with posting porn. We were so close. We were so close one night to getting porn on there, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Romancing
that not allowed?
romancing the readers has come
Very
dubiously close.
So we have
that
an
not allowed?
actual. We have like no. Well, if we do, we have to put like not suitable for work next to it.
We could do that.
Yeah, that wasn't implemented yet. And
Oh,
Erica was
okay.
not online. I was online, and it was on the romance books only section. We have a smut section, but they forgot about that and just went over to the romance book section. And so all of a sudden, someone mentioned a specific porn star, and I'm just like, guys, do not post him, because if you do, I'm gonna have to change this to not suitable for work. And it's fine, we can do that, but like I have to have that warning before so we don't get like in trouble. We do have younger like listeners and stuff.
We do.
So we have to
We
be
do.
very careful.
Yeah, we gotta be careful.
we do.
Well,
have
on that
some-
note, we're a triple S podcast. We swear, we spoil, and we talk about sex. So if that offends you or bothers you in any way,
We're sorry.
that's okay. Come back if we do another children's episode. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
So
or this episode, because this had
Yeah.
absolutely no smut.
yeah, this week we're back on the rage read train. I know some of you like this.
Unexpected rage read.
So
Yeah.
this did not begin as a rage read.
No.
And that's the best rage reads are the ones that don't begin as rage reads.
We
just
had
don't
high
know.
hopes. We really did have high hopes going into this. We were recommended this book, and we also saw it a lot on Instagram. And that book is The Black Witch by who?
Laurie Forest?
Laurie Forest, yeah.
That's actually
got
a
it
really
right.
dope name.
Yeah.
I wish my
Considering
last name was Forrest.
the tree thing.
Oh, do you think it's a fake name?
A synonym.
You can never say that word. That is a real struggle for you.
Pseudonym.
Pseudonym.
You know,
Yes.
from episode
Pseudonym?
1, you struggled with that.
I have a good vocabulary. I can't pronounce half the words.
Dilapidated.
I know what they mean. Can't pronounce half of them.
That's fair.
Well, yeah, Laurie Forest wrote The Black Witch. It's a YA fantasy, I guess.
I think I'm just done
Is it
with
high?
YA.
Is this high fantasy?
No.
No, it's just YA.
You keep asking
Okay.
about high fantasy.
I don't get the
high
distinction.
fantasy is mostly adult. It's very, very complicated magic systems that
Oh.
have a lot of political
And
pull and
most times
Like
high
Wheel
fantasy
of
has
Time.
a lot of violence
yes,
that you won't see in YA.
So we're talking Game of Thrones is high fantasy.
yes,
Yes.
Game of
Okay.
Thrones is high fantasy.
yes.
And like Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Okay.
You good?
No. I'll forget, but for now.
Fine.
All right, staying on topic here. Black Witch. We all wanted to like this book.
I didn't want to read this book.
Nobody more than me wanted to like
You
this
recommended this book on a podcast.
Remember? She
'Cause
had
I
recommended
thought it
it.
was-
She was like, "Hey, I'm going to recommend this. I'm not that far in,
Yeah.
but it's pretty cool so far. She
Yep.
can touch trees and like know their wood." And I was like, "That sounds fucking dumb."
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I know, because you like trees.
But to be fair, only like 5 chapters into this book.
Yeah. So then Kristen and Erica were both reading it, and both of them started like sort of going downhill.
No, I messaged the group.
Fast.
I messaged the group and I said, Erica, I'm listening to Black Witch. I'm very confused as to why you like this book.
Yeah.
To which she responded, "Oh, I don't." And then I was like, wait,
I don't remember
you
that.
recommended it on our podcast. You're like, yeah, no, I finished like reading it and it sucks. And I was like, I'm not going to finish this. It's very bad. I had high
I
hopes.
finished it.
I went
didn't.
on a very long diatribe on our story at one point, talking about how fucking racist this book is. And we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But there was a point in the book where I stopped. What's the catchphrase for like with the real world when people like stop being fake and start being real?
Oh, yeah.
I never
how
watched The Real
felt.
World.
And I was just like, there was a point in the book where I was just like, wait a minute, this is not it.
Yeah.
And to me, the writing was there. I think the writing is very good. I think
No.
I think her descriptions
Nope.
were beautiful.
This is where we disagreed because I think it was I didn't even get to the part where it was like super racist. However, it definitely, there was like,
there was
sprinkle.
alluding.
I literally got, I think, to like chapter 4 or 5. So I don't know if I can even like really talk on this book, but I just hated it that much.
At 4 chapters.
Yes, it was like I was listening to it and it was just so boring and the writing was so immature. I felt like
It felt a bit pretentious.
yeah,
You know?
that's what I'm getting at.
It felt like overly descriptive in a way that's trying to be lyrical and beautiful and flowery, right? To give you that rich description of a fantasy world. But to me, the fantasy part of it wasn't as described. It wasn't as fleshed out.
This is what I mean. The descriptions were really, really pretty. Like I remember one distinctly, like she was talking about like the sky and how like the clouds end up like looking like snakes. And it was just very like imaginative how she like used her words, but they didn't fucking matter. Like again, we're talking about the clouds. Like
Right. So
that, like
a lot of descriptions for things that didn't
were
have-
irrelevant.
didn't have much of a payoff later.
It could have been so
Yes.
cool. I thought the concept was really neat. I love anything that
I
transports
kind of even
me.
like some of the characters, to be honest. Like I
Oh, I
love
don't.
Diana, the
don't
lupines.
think
I like Diana.
Diana, her brothers were
I didn't
cool.
get there.
Like,
yeah.
I don't
Well,
think I got
let's
there.
get into.
Yeah. We gotta do a 60-second.
I can do it if y'all want.
You're gonna have to do it.
Okay.
There's like no other option.
I will. So full disclosure, I did finish this book, but it's so ages ago at this point
yeah.
that I'm a little fuzzy towards the end, and that was because I was really raging through and trying
at
to
a
get through it.
2-time speed.
No, did I get up to 2 times?
There's no way that you didn't,
I might have gone up to 2
because
times.
I did, and I never do.
I did. I just stopped. I want to put.
I've been trying to stay at 1.5 just so I'm ingesting more of the story better.
Fair.
But I did get towards the end too. Yeah, you're right.
I want to put a full disclaimer that these are our opinions. This is like how we felt about the book. It doesn't negate the fact that if you love the book, it doesn't make your opinion any less valid.
Yeah, if you like it, good on you,
That's
babe.
awesome.
That's
And-
good. I like shit people don't like all the time.
And I don't want to bash the author in any way. I'm sure she's Erica loves her writing. It's just not my cup of tea.
That's fine. Yeah, we're not.
It
so
is what it is.
if you're new here,
it is what it
is. If you're new here and you're new to rage reads,
Yeah.
this is not meant to be any kind of toxicity kind of thing. It's sort of like
totally is.
I mean, it is, but
No,
it's
it's like a
not
venting
It's
session.
a venting
Yeah.
session.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like you. I feel like we all go through this where we deal with something that we don't like in the moment, and then it's cathartic.
Yeah.
To just like sort of bash it a little way.
Yeah.
It's not bashing this author at all, saying she's not a good writer.
Yeah.
The woman has published a book.
Yep.
That's more than what I can say for myself.
It's not a bad book. The there's bad.
It's a bad book.
I wouldn't call it a bad book.
I fucking
it's
hate
not
it.
a bad
I think
book.
it just has bad things in it.
I think we just don't like it.
Subjectively, I thought it was a shitty book. All right, Maria, let's go.
didn't
Hop
finish
into
it,
the
so you can't
16
say much.
That's what I DNF'd it. All right, Maria, here we go. You ready? Let me get the timer, actually. Do you remember everybody's names?
No.
Ellerin.
I got Ellerin.
Well, while you think about that,
Lucas.
if you're new here, we do this thing on this podcast where we try to explain the entire plot summary of the book that we're going to talk about in 60 seconds or less.
Whose idea with this?
Here it goes. All right.
All the bad ideas
The
are
person
mine.
who ended up being the absolute worst at it. It's her idea. All right, Maria, ready? Here we go.
Sure.
In 3, 2.
Ellerin is this orphan girl. She's raised by her uncle, and she wants to like be a violin maker kind of thing. But her aunt comes in and she's like, "You're gonna go off to university and you have to get one fast. You have to get married to this guy so we can have power and yada yada yada." And then so she goes off to this academy, like a university academy, and there it's mixed with like different kind of people and different kind of races. And our girl's very racist, so she's like very thrown back. And there's like a rebellion happening, and there's fairies and stuff. And so that's where the middle of the book makes no fucking sense. There's nothing much going on in the middle of the book. Towards the end, they go and like they go save a dragon.
Seconds.
And this dragon kind of thing, you know, the Gardnerians,
Fruities.
they're the ones that are in charge of things. And then
5 seconds.
And when they save the
You're done.
the dragon. And
Bro, how did we get from nothing happens in the middle to slaying a dragon?
Fruities.
that was the worst one I've ever done. Because
I wonder if that's what was in her mind when she made up these. Because I always wonder how the fuck they get there to like these weird ass names.
She was in the shower coming up with ideas.
She's like, this is it.
That's where the best ideas come from, Maria in the shower.
She's washing her hair with the book.
listen, okay, I say that the middle of the book has. Ma'am,
this is a Wendy's.
Ma'am, this is a podcast room.
This is,
So the middle of the book was the hardest for me because I felt like nothing was progressing
happened. Nothing
at all.
happened.
I don't think I made it to the
So
middle.
we went through like her school days, and like not only did the character not develop whatsoever, did not move even a fucking needle's breath.
We just know that there's a type of rebellion happening for those who are not Gardnerians, and Gardnerians are seen
You
as
missed like the most important part, which is her grandmother was the Black Witch.
Fuck. But that is so irrelevant. It's
But
so
doesn't she
irrelevant
become
right now.
Okay, here's
She
my
doesn't
problem.
even do that. She doesn't even do that in the book.
So her grandmother was the most powerful witch of all,
And
the
she looks
Black
just
Witch.
like her.
That bothered me so much. She's this beautiful. The main character is this beautiful woman,
But
who
she doesn't know
looks just
why
like
she's
her.
beautiful. Like,
And
I don't
also,
understand why people think I'm beautiful.
She's like
So YA.
She's like
It's so YA.
She's like my uncle told me that I don't have powers, so I just don't have powers. I've totally been wand-fasted, and I don't, which is the dumbest name.
No,
so
she doesn't
wand
have
fasted is
that.
marriage.
Oh well,
Wand tested. I
test
think.
it. That's the other
But
thing.
wand tested, but they wand test her again in the book, and she still doesn't have power. But
She
somehow,
does.
at
She
some
does.
point,
She does have power.
She
feels
she
like
releases
this-
something.
Yeah.
no, I know, but they don't know that she has.
But
Yeah.
she fucking knows.
No,
She
I
doesn't understand.
read ahead to the other like thing. She's the most. She's
She
more
read book
powerful.
2 and 3.
No, I didn't read book 2 and 3, but she's the most powerful witch of all time
She's the next Black Witch.
because we're in a YA novel. And obviously, she doesn't have fucking parents.
Right.
Like,
So
what-
her
why-
uncle's
yeah.
raising her. Okay, Harry Potter.
And you know, she has. We have a love triangle going
Naturally.
on with a guy that fucking
She's
hates her
the
and she
chosen
shouldn't
one.
be with, and then the guy that
enemies
she
to
should be with.
lovers, and then
Yeah, so we
Dead
have that.
parents, chosen one, enemies to lovers, love triangle. We're hitting all the tropes.
I mean,
y'all.
Faye.
Faye.
It's every fucking YA trope that you could unearth.
Sorry. Okay, so I know I fucked up that 60 seconds really bad, and I'm like really like I'm having a problem.
This
in
book
it.
doesn't even have a plot. Like this book does not have a plot. It literally doesn't.
It has the skeleton of one. It does.
It doesn't.
Do you wanna run us through the
there's
skeleton
not
plot?
an end
Skeleton
to
plot.
this book.
The end of this book is a cliffhanger. Skeleton plot.
There's no end.
Basically, she's the lineage of the Black
She
Witch.
being Eleanor, right?
Ellerin.
Ellerin.
I just want to call her Rin. Rin's cute.
Yeah, give me a cuter
okay.
name.
Okay.
Rin. So Rin is she's off to university because she wants to actually just be normal, right? She wants to like not be wand fasted, which wand fasting is basically what I'm thinking is just marriage.
Yes.
Super young to
18.
it's not like they want to start at 14 at some point in this book.
Yeah.
And so the government, the Gardnerian government, is what I feel is very
it's the Nazi regime.
It's scary as fuck, and it's based in what my knowledge is certain religions that enforce, or not enforce, but encourage their youth to get married super young.
Yeah.
To do, to just
start procreating,
create more of what they are.
Yep.
And, avoid getting to sin, because at that age, 17, 18, 19, you are the most like hyperactive on all these hormones are going crazy.
Yep.
That's the time all these kids get pregnant.
Yep.
Right? So that's why they try to wand fasting. I hate the term wand fasting.
That was like, I couldn't get past it.
And so basically she goes to this university, ends up getting roomed with a demon?
An Icar. I hate the name for everything.
Yeah, there's
an Icarol.
There's
Icarol.
certain
Icarol.
fucking names that are dumb. So an Icarol, and
an elven Icarol.
And an elf. An Icarol and an elf kind of thing. A lot of
there's a lot of fucking different types of species. They're very difficult to keep track of, which I don't like. And they sound the same.
They sound the same, and then they all sort of have the same basis of like, oh, so the Gardnerians were the ones that were chosen, or the favorites of the ultimate god, right?
Are they bad?
The Gardnerians?
I just don't remember.
I mean, like,
any kind of organized religion is pretty bad.
Oh,
sometimes.
that's who we're talking about?
That's what we're talking about.
I lost all this.
Gardnerian is our organized religion.
Yes.
Right?
Got it.
And they are the almighty.
But
they try to keep everyone in line.
Okay.
But like, she's like, they call her like Gardneria Ellerin, or what, like how they use.
Stop slamming!
Erica dropped our camera.
Oh no! Now I have to fix it. Hold on.
Is it still recording?
Yes, it's still recording.
I can't wait to get more comments being like, you guys don't even read the books that you talk about.
I know, right? It's confusing. And like, I think this is real, that like, I am confused.
Nice,
I read enough books. I read enough adult fucking books. This is confusing.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Like, how Gardneria is a country or the world.
Right.
I don't know.
That's where I'm saying. It's like a lot of stuff is thrown at you, but it's
no,
not.
They use the same word for like 10 different things.
And so she's telling us the story of Gardneria, right? Mm-hmm. This is where I'm saying it's coming from some kind of like, at least in our world, religion, because it feels very much like it, like ultra Christian, ultra just whatever. And it's like, oh, we were chosen by our God, and those who were not like us, they became the Icarals and the elves, or whatever, the other species that are not chosen by God, and they are dark and they are evil and they should be shunned.
I forgot.
You did that.
I forgot that she read like a part of their book,
their Bible.
They read the part of their book, and I literally was like, I got off the stool that I was painting on, and I said, "Oh, so the Bible?" It was exactly what our Bible is.
Not our Bible. It's the Book of Mormon.
It feels like
it's the Book of Mormon.
It's the Book of Mormon. I'm gonna say it right now. I've dated a Mormon. I know it's the Book of Mormon.
To me, it felt like the Nazi regime. The whole time I'm thinking these are Nazis.
Okay, so literally the girl, her grandma's the Black Witch. So I need to know what happens in the middle of the book, because I know you say nothing.
Literally nothing.
But like, how do we get to a dragon?
She goes to school. Okay. There's this one chick in school who is considered the next Black Witch. She's the most powerful one there.
I do remember that.
And everyone's like, I can't remember her name. She's sucking away.
And she wants the guy.
And
Falcon?
she wants the Falcon's her last name, I think. Fallon. Something like that.
Falcon?
Something.
No.
Something. So the main guy that Rin is into, right?
Yep.
He's like sort of
Lucas.
He's our resident like bachelor. Everyone's like, oh my god, Lucas.
And also,
he's
like,
so
she's
great.
the first moment that she meets him, it's like an instant
dude.
connection.
They like kiss.
Yeah, it was weird.
And he
like bangs her up against a wall and kisses her, which is the only hot moment in this entire book.
So I really feel like Lucas is predatory.
Yeah.
Like, to me,
he didn't end up being bad in the end of the book?
I don't think he's gonna be bad.
He went away in the middle of the book.
Oh, I thought he was just gonna be bad.
He went away to do things because he's a general.
That's I hated this. I hated this love interest, because you get like sucked into it at first, and I'm like, okay, like he's kind of cute, like they have a connection. They have this like, okay, it's a little predatory. Whatever.
No, it's predatory. It's fucking predatory. He comes at her like, oh, I feel something from you. It's like fire and ice. Like I
the
feel
whole
it.
middle
I think he's
of the
gonna be
book,
bad.
he's gone. I don't
The
think
whole
so.
book he's gone.
But the whole book he's gone.
I'm hoping he turns bad.
He doesn't even pop up a lot. Like he sends her gifts, but she
Sends
barely
her
even
like
mends it.
messages, and so he asked her to wand fast. He's like, I want to get wand fasted to you. The main bad girl from the school is like, fuck you, that's my guy.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Which
nah,
is
I want to
like-
get wand fasted to
it's
Rin,
so
who I
excessive.
just met. It's like
Yeah.
so insta lovey, and I don't like it, but it felt like he was gonna turn bad. It
Yeah.
felt like he was, because she has some kind of power
That's
that
what
he
I thought.
knows.
That's what I thought.
I feel like he's like, oh, let me latch onto this
Yeah.
person who's probably actually the Black Witch.
Yes.
And capitalize it on later.
That
I
makes
don't know
the
if
most
maybe I
sense.
just made a better book.
No, that's
but-
got to be it. That's the
I
only
don't know.
I don't
redeeming
know.
thing.
I've heard it's a love triangle. So there's
Really?
another guy in the
From the 4 books that I believe that are out, I don't believe Lucas is bad yet.
Really?
yeah.
Huh.
Weird.
So I don't think that's the only reason I don't. If I just took it from book 1, I would agree with you. But since there's 4,
I know.
I don't think he's turning.
I think it would be more fun if he was.
So does she discover her powers full on by the end of the book?
no.
Oh. So how do we get to a dragon?
So the other guy, the in the triangle, there's this
Uh-huh.
other guy. I think he's a Nick roll, right?
He's there's like 5 different names for like the dudes, the demon people.
Yeah, there's too many. He's not a Gardnerian,
Okay.
right? And so she gets given kitchen duty because she's not wand fasted, and she refuses to be wand fasted. She gets put through like the ringer in college. She gets sent in
Well,
the
her
room.
aunt refuses to pay for college,
her
so
aunt
she has to
refuses
pay.
to-
She has to pay by working in the kitchens, but the people who work in the kitchens are not Gardnerians.
They're all like different races that she's obviously like racist against. And this
they
guy
all fucking hate her.
is prejudiced against her, so it's like an enemies to lovers thing on them.
I knew that was going to happen though.
He
That she would
Yeah.
get with a guy
'Cause-
that's not
'cause
her
the
species. Because
the
that's the only way you
second-
can learn how to not
also,
be a piece of shit.
It's
if you
heavily
fall in love.
foreshadowed in the beginning of the book because her friend comes back, right? One of her friends who got wand fasted.
That's exactly why I was like, okay, I know. What
Went
they're
off,
gonna-
right?
yeah.
All of a sudden, we hear that she had left her husband and gotten with an Icarol, had an Icarol baby.
The demon baby.
It's a demon baby, and this is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Basically, it's
Yeah.
a prophesized Antichrist kind of thing. And this girl comes to see Rin, gives her this wand, this like ultra like powerful wand that Rin thinks it's nothing. Rin thinks like, oh,
Which
she
like
probably
this whole book, it has been irrelevant.
yeah, she uses it no times. So she gives the wand to Rin. The girl's like, listen, like they're coming for my baby. Like they're bad. Like the gardener, and she's like, Rin's like, you're out of your mind, honey. Like
Which like if
you
that
went with
happened
an
to me,
Icarol? Like, what?
if that happened to me, I'd be like, I think I'm gonna think about this.
Yeah, I'd be like, wow, you've been missing for so long. You're literally pregnant and,
and
you're giving me a wand.
and you're telling me like
Yeah.
everything that I know is wrong, and
Yeah.
you're clearly distressed. Like I'm gonna take this
I'm gonna
into account.
Yeah, for sure.
I
I wouldn't
wouldn't-
just assume you're off
You're
your-
crazy.
Yeah, that's another thing. But either way, like I knew immediately she was gonna fall in love with the other species, right? She was gonna get to the school, and that was the only way that she was gonna come to this awakening that not everybody's bad.
I don't.
Because that's what these
she
books
makes
do.
friends. She makes friends. To me, the highlight of this book are the side characters.
Aislinn and Jared, I liked.
I love their love story. It's
They're
really cute.
They're really
they like
cute.
pass like romantic notes to, or like poems.
So
to
one
each
of them is
other.
Gardnerian, and the other one's like a
Lupine.
Lupine, which is like a wolf. Right?
Shifter.
A shifter kind of thing. And Aislinn's parents and family is super ultra into the
Racist.
Gardnerian thing, and they're like, you cannot. Lupines are disgusting. They're evil. They're gonna eat your children in the night, kind of thing. And so Aislinn and Jared have their own little thing, which is really cute.
And I actually hope that she turns lupine. And then Diana is Jared's twin sister, and she ends up falling in love with
Rin's brother.
Okay.
and
And
who
she's
I also
super
love.
badass.
So I just
Yeah,
have
she's
one
hilarious.
Go ahead,
question.
I know we're going everywhere.
How did we get to the dragon?
Right, I was trying to get there.
So
Hold on.
Ivan.
Yvonne.
Is it Ivan?
The book and audio form calls him Yvonne.
It's Ivan though.
I know it's Ivan.
Spelled Ivan.
It's Ivan. So Ivan is the kitchen boy, right?
Okay.
He has been going to where they keep these dragons. The Gardnerians keep them as like weapons to use.
Okay.
And there is one particular dragon that's like sort of held caught captive, and like it's alluded that he has a sort of power to be able to like talk to, or at least feel like become like sort of a familiar with the dragon, and he feels bad for this dragon, so they go all this whole plot at the end to rescue this dragon, and that's where shit gets real, because they get this dragon to get taken out of the Gardnerian fortress.
And Rin is involved in this?
Rin's involved in it because at the end she feels bad about all the stuff that she's done, and she wants to help.
Oh, of course.
And also she has things for him.
So does she end up like showing her powers in the process of the dragon? So like,
Don't
how
believe
does
so.
it end? And that's it?
It ends with she's back at the college, and she thinks she's gonna get found out, and she goes to her teacher, which her teacher comes in earlier in the book, and he sort of gives us a whole rundown on the Gardnerian lifestyle or religion or whatever you want to call it, and how it's based in falsehood. It's not what she thinks it is. It's like, no, Gardnerians want to just eradicate everyone that's not them.
But it's a Gardnerian school and they're teaching that?
He's different.
Okay.
She learns Gardnerian studies, but she's like, I want to learn the real Gardnerian history.
Okay.
And he gives her the real one, like the non-brushed over, the non-glossed over fake shit. And she learns about the real way the Gardnerian is, and how her grandmother, the Black Witch, was actually not good. She wanted to destroy people.
Could have told you that from the very beginning of the book.
Which is why she was killed by a Nickerel.
Yeah.
And there's that statue of her.
I figured the Ickerels were the good ones and the Gardnerians
the
were
Ickerels
the
are just
bad
normal
ones.
humans.
But like they also
Or
call them
people.
Celts, and it's like
Kelpies.
Kelt. Kelt.
There's too many fucking words.
There's too many words, and they like natural. I don't know. She just drops all these fucking names all
Something
the time.
I wrote, it's like, this book feels so info dumpy. There's so much lore being thrown at us, and I wonder how much of it even matters.
Yeah.
That's
So
my problem.
I wasn't sure what I was
A lot of
supposed to be
stories.
retaining.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go into some of the more problematic things in this book, and I went on my rant, so I'll give you a brief.
Yeah, we won't spend too much time here.
I'll give you a brief like overview of how I felt about this book in terms of the racist connotations. So,
Just Kristen.
like I said, I think this is like very much Nazi. I think she was super racist, and for her brothers being super not racist, it
One
didn't
of his
make
brothers
sense.
being gay,
One of the brothers being
really?
gay,
and she became. Oh my god, I felt so angry
because she just was not accepting of him.
She was
any-
immediately homophobic. Immediately,
and then
so where
never
he's
got better.
No, like she was like, you have to hide this. We can't let anyone know because you know what happens to you if you're gay, like kind of thing. Like I'm like, way to be a sister.
So this is
fuck
where the conversation comes in, right? Where it's like, are we upset at a book because one of the characters has flaws? I mean, they're insanely horrible flaws, right? But do we allow writers to explore characters having real life issues like this? Or do we end up hating the book because of like how that character feels?
I'm okay
in a
with them
fiction
having
world?
flaws.
I'm only saying this. I don't agree with
No,
the
I know
argument
what
I
you're
just
saying.
presented. I'm saying it because this is the argument I found on Goodreads, where people will be like, well, this is like a racist piece of shit book that like, you know, has all these things. And then immediately the comment underneath is like, it's a fictional world. Like we should let people, you know, explore
I feel
those
like
things.
this conversation's been happening a lot lately within fantasy books and stuff like that. And that's fine. I think as readers, we are going to put and one of the girls I follow on Instagram said this. It was something biased, our internal bias kind of thing. We know our world has that social construct of race.
Yes.
You know, this book, from reading it, feels like it does too.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, I think it relates. I think it matters that we can look at it and say, well, if our main character is gonna, I have to like you.
Yeah.
Right? If
Exactly.
you're gonna put me on that you are my main character, you're the heroine that I'm gonna
Exactly.
follow through this and I'm
Yeah.
gonna root for, then if you're gonna have flaws, you better eradicate them real quick.
Yep.
Because otherwise I'm not gonna sit through 400 pages of listening to you be what I don't want you to be.
And that
It
was
was the lack of growth for me.
Yeah, that was my issue. I didn't even finish this book, just reading like the synopsis, like, you know, everything else. It was just like, okay, she has her flaws, and like, I don't even want to call them flaws. Like, she's a fucking piece of shit. Like, that's what she is. Like, for you to be, and I know she was manipulated from her family, and like, these are her point of views because
But
she was,
even her brothers
Yeah,
weren't, and her
yeah.
uncle doesn't seem that way.
You're right,
She's
you're
the
right.
only one out
Yeah.
of the four of them that
That, like,
has
feels
this
that.
internal bias against this kind of
Right.
stuff. So it's like, where is your basis coming from? If you told me she was raised by her aunt, who's very much like that,
I think it's her religion.
Racist,
I think it's her religion.
It's her religion.
That's where she's getting it all from. And that's a real thing, right? There's people in this world that are like completely sheltered and biased by their religion. And it's sad. And I think that like having it in a book is fine. But the way that this book presented it was trash. And I think that like for somebody to sit through 400 pages of this,
I sat through the entire book
of this person just being like the
Racist
main character
and not
that
being
you're
sure.
the main character that you're supposed to like you said, like that's the person you're supposed to
root
connect
for
to.
you.
Kept knowing, she knew it was wrong. This is what really killed me. So she ended up, so on her way to university, she sees like this horrible treatment of like this Kelpie, which is like a seal fucking person.
It's
I
like
don't
a
even
siren.
know. Like it sounded like a mermaid type person.
Yeah.
But so she gets like all upset because they put her in a cage and blah blah blah.
And they're like poking
and then
at
eventually,
her.
Eventually at the end of the book, she helps save this Kelpie because it ends up getting like traded to somebody like at the school or whatever. Sure. And the whole time they're talking about this Kelpie, Diana is like, "Can we stop calling it a fucking Kelpie? Can we call it like? Can we give it a name?
Give her
a name?
Yeah.
Like it's so animalistic." And like they're like, "All right, yeah, we'll name her Marina."
Mm-hmm.
But what does this fucking bitch do? She still refers to her as the Kelpie.
Really?
Yeah.
Like she's like Marina the Kelpie, and it's like you literally just said how like inhumane it is to keep calling it.
Well, she didn't just say it.
Like
Diana said it.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying like you agreed that this was an inhumane, and the only reason you're giving any type of empathy towards this creature is because you see it as an animal,
But you know
and
what
not
else?
another species.
You know what else I feel like bounces off of that is the fact that it's who she was with. If the people who she was with were also Gardnerian in a way that's like, you're a Kelpie, you're a
She
girl,
wouldn't have thought anything.
she wouldn't have given a shit. She would have kept doing the same thing
Yeah.
over and over. Her past
And this is the end
would
of the
not have
fucking
changed.
book.
Yeah,
this
that's
is like
the problem.
This is like 80%.
At
Yeah.
that point, she should have been the one that brought that up, not Diana.
If you're telling me that you're growing so much that now you have these two roommates who are races that you don't ever wanted to be a part of, or now you want to protect them kind of way, right? It's like, oh, these are my roommates, yada yada. You should not have these kind of mental.
I just felt like the growth, it was like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah.
2 steps forward, 3 steps back. And we never actually grew. Like if she did grow in any capacity, it was like, I think maybe I might be possibly under some circumstances wrong.
Yeah.
And that's like the most bullshit fucking thing you could say. There's a way to handle racism in books. There's a way to handle that kind of and we're gonna do Savage Lands today, and I think Savage Lands did it beautifully because it's the same fucking scenario where she was brainwashed.
She lived a privileged life,
and now she got thrown in with a bunch of in a prison with a bunch of people who wanted to kill her, and she still battled through her racism immediately.
Yeah.
And was like, "Oh shit, we're all in this together," type thing.
Yeah, so I think there are circumstances where what these arguments are saying makes sense, where it's like, yeah, you can approach these subjects in books 100%. It's like,
and there are books that do it well.
Exactly.
And she did.
And Black Witch
This book
did
was
it
not done
terribly. And it felt juvenile in the way that she did it too.
Yeah.
It felt like a children's book.
And I felt
Yeah.
if you were a member of the LGBT community and reading this book,
Yeah, that too.
I was enraged.
I was put off.
Yeah.
I was enraged.
Because
I was so angry.
At the beginning of the book, or like the middle of the book,
Does she
like
come to accept him at the end?
No.
Really?
She I'm not even joking. That's what I'm trying to say. So she like finds out he's gay, and she has this horrible reaction towards it, and she's like, it's fine, you can just hide it. And then at the end of the book, he's like, they're like, all right, everyone's gonna have to get wand fasted, and she's like, it's fine, you can just hide it. He's like, I can't fucking hide it. And he's like, she's like, no, you
and
can
that's
just
her
get
main character.
She's like, you can just
guys.
get
That's
wand
her main
fasted,
character.
and nobody will know.
Get
And
wand
he's
fasted
like,
to a woman, and just live your life that way. He goes, would you wand fast yourself to a woman?
and she's like, no, of course not. And it's like, do we not grow this whole book? As an LGBTQ member, I would be fucking livid at that, being like, okay, so why did I just read not only 400 pages of fucking racism, but now we're doubling down into homophobia.
It's like you added an LGBTQ character, right? And if I
For
was,
what?
I'd be like, representation. Ooh, here it is. And just to be like, oh, the main character, again, who I'm rooting for, doesn't like what I'm represented as in this book.
So
and you know what? I might even feel differently if this book was not fucking YA.
Yeah.
To me, YA needs to represent, like, you are targeting, even though there are people that are older that read YA, you are targeting an audience that is extremely, and we talk about this all the time, you're targeting an audience that's extremely malleable in their beliefs. And now you're telling these kids that it's fucking okay to be wishy-washy on fucking racism.
Yep. And,
And homophobia.
Here. And that's how we feel about that book.
That got heated. I'm so sorry.
There is nothing that makes me angrier than fucking racism and homophobia. And it's so easily avoidable because you're writing it.
Yeah.
You're fucking writing it. Like, this is not just like out of your hands, like something a police officer did or whatever the fuck it is. This is you writing this book. You are in control of the storyline and this character development and everything that has to do with it. And you fucking drop the ball.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I think it's.
I don't give a shit how the rest of this book,
The
how the rest of
one
the series
thing,
plays
the
out.
one thing I said that this book was the only thing going for this book was that she had not said, "I let out a breath. I didn't know I was holding." That is the one
Which is
thing.
probably why this book sucked. She wasn't in the club.
She wasn't in the club. There it is. That's
Apparently,
what happened.
it's like.
Oh, by the way, I have a drum today.
Yeah.
A new instrument. I think we're gonna try to get a new one every week.
Lou has a lot of instruments in here.
It might run out, but we'll get something.
So basically, moral of the story is if you want to get me fucking hot and bothered.
Not hot and bothered. That's the fun kind.
Yeah.
If you want to get her hot and raging.
Yeah.
But this is why it was a rage read to me, because I felt that at every turn there was some type of like distressing thing in this plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I was
And
upset.
nothing happened.
We don't usually.
That was also
We
like,
don't
there's
usually
no-
recommend books at the ends of rage reads, do we? Because I guess we could
We
recommend.
don't, but we can recommend
Savage
things
Lands.
that does it better.
Yeah.
So
Savage-
I think Savage Lands,
Yeah.
it had a very similar plot.
it's not this. I don't think it's the same kind of plot.
No, but at least it does this
But no,
thing well.
there's a girl that like came from privilege, came from racism, got put into an institution. In this case, it's in a university. In the
jail.
other case, it's
Yeah.
a prison. And they had to figure out that their original
And
beliefs
she
were wrong.
has some
So-
underlying powers that no one knows about.
Yes.
So read that instead.
Yes, you are correct. It does have a lot of. You were right.
It's very much the same. Two different. Savage Lands is obviously like not YA, but they were, and there's LGBTQ in this series in Savage Lands, and they handled it a lot differently.
It was so cute.
Love that.
I can't wait to talk about that book.
All right. Well, that's really all that we have today.
Going
Sorry.
back through all my
Oh
notes,
my God.
I know I do this every time. Going back through all my notes, I had a lot of fun just bashing this.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I
literally what we just
go,
did.
here we go. Oh, she's an arsonist. I think she burned some kind of tree in the beginning. I was like, way to like your trees. I'm just a shy girl acting as annoying.
That's the
as
other
fuck.
thing is like they could have like really touched on the environment in this book, and they
No
didn't
one
touch
tells
on
me
it
I'm
at
pretty.
all.
I'm shy.
It
Could
was
have
so,
had a
like-
lot of fun with the tree stuff and the abilities.
It was so sad because
And,
the
like,
He wasn't
characters,
touched on a
the
plot at all.
characters
No.
are so fun. Like I love Diana, I love Jared, I love some of these other people.
You know what else I got mad at? The fact that she was given this wand. The wand is obviously made of some kind of wood. If you know the
Yeah.
history of wood by touching it, wouldn't you know what this wand is?
It's a very good point. That's a solid way to end this with a giant plot hole.
I
Thank
like
you
to- I like to
so
call
much
those.
for joining us on a Rage Read. If you have some books that you think we'll hate based off of this episode or a previous Rage Read, send them over because we love nothing more
Than to rage.
hate the books that we read. That's a joke. That's a joke. But thank you so much for joining us. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram. That's books_n_Betches, BETCHES. I love when you do that. Or you can watch us on YouTube and drop a comment because clearly we read them. And,
Yes.
give us our phrase of the day, not to be confused with
books and
what, and we'll say it clearly. Thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a fucking great day.